Hey everyone, hope you're doing good. As my favorite quote says, if it is important, you will find a way. If it isn't, you will find an excuse. As part of Y programming for episode number 3, I want to give a small thing before that to the previous video if you have watched or if you not watched. I will add it a link. So basically, the previous video we saw how we can use one of the agent driven ID like anti-gravity and how we can code, and we saw how your prompts makes things. If it is little odd prompts, you see a tool is not fully functional, right? So I have did it's a long back, but I have did my couple of applications. So one of the application is what I want to show you today. Basically, it is fully driven with by programming. There's only 5 to 10% of my dev effort. Rest everything is used just with the English. Just make this agent do for me. I had my idea what to do. I had my things. So basically, I had couple of trackers on my financial expenses, income, investments, XYZ. So I thought let's make that as an application because the reason is whenever I am using an Excel for every year, just create a copy of it, clear the content, then use it again. If Excel gets corrupt, then the usual thing. So I've created an application. So basically this video is about end to end. So from my repository, how we can download, I'll just share my repository link, documentation part, and yeah, well, it is not hosted in a cloud or something. So for local purpose, it's what I've created for time being, unless some sponsors comes up for me to host it on a cloud environment. But if you're free, if you like this, you can start using it in a local. Just that couple of tools has been required. I'll just go for the documentation part. Okay, so this is the documentation. So let's go over to this tool. Before going to the tool, that if you see this GitHub, most of the things is in JS with few Python for API calls. Okay, I have named this tool as NAVIO. It's NAVIO. It's track, analyze, and optimize. It's a compass for navigating mutual funds. Okay, so these are the tech stack or features what this tool supports us. Well created by myself. So yeah, made with love for better financial tracking. As I said, I started off with a lot of Excel things, so I thought let's make it an application and start using the way it's in generic purpose. Okay, now story behind Nevio. So how do I pronounce? I put it here. Okay, so Navio. So what is NAV? NAV in finance is net asset value, which is a daily price of a mutual fund unit. For people who don't know about mutual fund unit, I'm not gonna explain much. Please Google yourself. Okay. So my topic is just to explain on this tool I have created. Okay, and the IO. So it ends input and output. So my input can be in my SIP lump sums watch list, and output is the get insights of what I've invested. It can be in the form of a returns, or it can be an exit or dip buy strategy, so on and so forth. Okay. Tagline is track, analyze, and optimize. Okay. Now about Navio is part of Fox and Suit. So Fox and Suit is something which I have named it, which is a family intelligent finance app, which has Navio. Navio is the first app. Then it is Inexo. Then we have Finora. So this Inexo Finaro will be gradually. I'll have another episode. Uh, so this is to track, analyze, and optimize, right, Navio? So in Exa will have its different purpose, and Finora will have the different purpose. I've not clubbed everything much into as a one big, but I have segregated it separate. Maybe down the lane, I'll make it into Fox Institute altogether. So what is Navio? Navio is self-hosted, privacy-focused mutual fund tracking application, basically designed to track your SIPs, lump sums, entry timing strategies, as I said. Since I'm sharing this link, I won't be going much into this information. What it is, feel free to explore and view acknowledgements I've added. Okay, so l- I've I've already downloaded this to my folder. I have not opened it yet, so I thought as part of this recording, let's go together. Okay. Um, this if you want to run locally, since it is first time, do this initial setup. Once the initial setup is done, then you can start your Navio, right? And stop. So once Navio starts, I've written a backup job. Basically, since we're using SQLite, locally it is downloaded. So since I'm using Git repo as my backup cloud, yeah, it works on it. If you're not using Git, you're just downloading a zip. Uh, it has its own idea to decide whether it's a Git repo or not, and it decides whether to backup or not. Okay, give a try on this. I am not installing. Once I click on the initial setup, it'll install all the Python required files and create, uh, what all environmental files it has to create. uh, I'll be focusing most of my tutorial or certain the product what I've created using Dockerization only. Anytime you want, you feel free to explore this documentation, which is again here you have all the documentation required. Okay, so let's do Dockerization. I have Docker setup and Podman setup. If you have Docker and Podman, yeah, you can work on it. I have both, but I'm just making use of Docker for this. So since I have Docker, if you see, let me open the Docker. Yeah, you see, I don't have any containers as of now. So what I'm gonna do is, uh, I'm gonna double click on Docker start. Let me get the terminal from it's getting. You see, I see. So the job is saying Docker is running. It starts creating. Meanwhile, it's building. Let me show the about the backup part. I said no. If it is, yeah, since I've cloned, it is part of Git. But the branch I'm in main, I'm allowed to only backup an end user. But if you feel to, uh, back it up with anything else, you can customize this auto script and add the branches you want when you are in backing up. For me, I've created as end user, but I've checked out to main. So that's the reason it will exit now. Okay, let me close this. Doesn't make any sense. And localhost 5174, which is actually, if you see, it's open for us by default. But since I'm on the same Wi-Fi, I can use in my other mobile devices or other laptop devices using this URL. Okay. So since it's running, I'll just minimize this terminal also, which gets this. Hey, so we see this Docker is loaded, right? We see the backend and front end. So this is a URL which has been loaded. First time it does an auto sync since you're loading the app for the first time, and post that every day it gets synced automatically. Else you can actually even click on sync nav. So I just click on sync now for now. Meanwhile it's syncing. Let me show you the intention behind this app. Why I created is I used to track the mutual funds invested like this. Um, so as per this recording, the latest nav is on December 19, 2025. So my expected nav, I'll specify the units I have. I specify the invested amount, the current return is based. Then I'll create a target. I think today we don't see any application that shows the target and decide whether you want to still keep it or sell it. So that is one of the reason behind this. Maybe once I show this app, you'll be understanding it. Um, as I said, since the first time, it's taking a little time. Okay. So meanwhile it's syncing. Let me show you the UI of it. We have SIP tracker, we have lump sum, we have watch list. My main focus is on the Excel related stuff is on the watch list. This You if you already have this brokerage apps which tracks, you can still continue that, but if all you wanted to add it here, you can have it. The reason why I am using this is just something to mimic the real thing. For instance, let's say I don't want to do a real investment, but I just wanted to track what if I invested and so and so. Okay, so I think the sync has been completed. Okay, so let's do some simple example. This you can search with your AMC. Maybe I'll choose SBI. So under SBI, we have a lot of things. Let's say now, okay, let's say banking and PSU fund. Under banking and PSU fund, we will have this direct plan, the regular plans, the growth, IDCW and stuff. So I would say I would take this growth. If you notice this is a code from the mutual fund sites. So what will be the mutual fund site and how the data is coming? Everything is been specified in the acknowledgement that is from AMFI. If you know the code, you can go it by select scheme code, and if you don't know, you can have it at here. Since you see this, I've selected. I'll just use the same thing to show it by scheme code. Okay, so I'll choose the scheme code. I'll give a lookup. You see, it still points the same. Maybe if you wanted to, I think the page is not refreshed for now, but let's do it again. You see, this fund gets selected, and as of today, 3402 is the correct nav. But let's verify that. Um, let's use money control. No, sorry, it was on the top. Yeah, 3195.64. So you see 3402. This is because I've chosen a direct plan. So let's okay, direct. Okay, 3402. So you see it's the same thing what we are getting the values. And this is all these websites actually pulling it from MFI data. Okay, same thing is what I have done it. So I'm not focusing much on this. I'm just focusing on my app. Let's say I had invested maybe on yesterday's date. I would have invested. Let's say I would have invested for 10,000. Okay. Since we have, it's better to have that day's data. Else, if you don't have, let's to show the difference. What I'm gonna do is, um, I'm making it as 8,000 3,400, and I would have purchased on, let's assume I would have purchased on 16th. Now just to give you a dashboard view also. So I've added the investments. You can do your CRUD operations here. Okay, now let's go to dashboard. Yeah, you see this, my average what I've entered was 3,400, and you see the current NAV what we saw was 3,402, right? So I've invested 10,000, that has become 6, so that's 0.07 percentage of increase, that is 6 rupees. Okay, so let's come to watch list. Uh, so this is what I have added. Okay, so let's do the same thing, but not with the real value, but just to show you how this looks like. So let me create a group. So this group is something like it's left to you. Maybe let's say now you have a multiple account like Grow, Zerodha, Angel One, Motilal, etc. Whatever is your agent, HDFC, ICC Securities, whatever is your broker, you can actually categorize based on that. That's just a group for yourself. Else, if you decide that you wanted to based on the market cap, like small, large, I mean, it's left to whatever you wanted. Okay. For now, I use a demo group. I'll create a demo group. Okay. Then I'll use one more thing for demo large. I'll create a demo large. Now let's now how do you add this to watch list? If you have the scheme code, well and good. If you don't have, let's find it. Let's say now, as per the screenshot, let's go use this quant small cap. Okay, I don't know what the code is, so I'm gonna do a quant small cap fund. So was it your regular or direct? Depending on yours, mine was direct, so I will choose direct. You see 273 nav, right? It is similar to of today's MFI data. Well, this Excel also, whenever I used to load this Excel, it pulls this all naval into the one sheet. Then based on that, I was using the data manipulation to load the data. Same thing is behind the scene on this app. Now I'll choose. You remember we added a group, right? Now I can choose which group I wanted to add. I'll use it as a demo, and the current is this. So how many units did I buy? Let's say I would have bought 25 units, and what was the amount I entered? Maybe let's say, just to simplify everything, let's say 10K. I'll add to watch list. So I've seen I have added to the watch list. And if you go for the dashboard, I just want to show only whatever thing you have added in SIP and lump sum is what comes in dashboard. Watch list is just for us to watch and see like how it behaves. Okay. Now let's go for the demo. I mean, this quick queue in all funds, I have created a quick views for that. Whenever there's a possibility of dip buy and whenever there's a possibility of it's aggregated into three category. One is it hits your target, and one is to show like what is your dip by chances and what is your accumulating chances. Okay, so again for the same purpose, what I'm gonna do, since I didn't show properly, let me delete it again just to show again, and I will enter the code directly this time. I'll do a lookup. You see small cap fund is added. Okay. um, Choose demo units again. mm, let's say 25 units. Maybe let's say okay, let's make it as 50 units, and I've invested 10,000. Okay, now this is a field where you want to play an important role when you're adding into watch list. uh, as a placeholder, you see what is today's nav. Okay, now what is the target now? That is like at what time do you feel to sell? um, let's add a higher bandwidth, then we'll come to lower bandwidth just to show like how the status gets changed. I'll add it for now 300. I'll click on add watch list. Okay, now in this you see this, I've invested 10K. um, my This is overall, and the 10K, the 13K is what the current value is, and my target goal was 15. Let's go for this demo view for better understanding. Okay, in this demo view, what you see is my investment was 1310 and my current is 13, and I'm getting 3K. So that is 36 percentage. That is with the current now and average now. My average now was 200 and the current now is 270, then I'm expecting 300. So when it hits 300, the expected value is 15K, and out of which the profit is 5,000, which is 50% and above. Okay. This is since I added the watch list today, it is gone for this date, and there's nothing much to show on 52-week high and low. Let's say this actually was brought maybe 1 year back. Just click on edit, change the date. Maybe I would have done it in 2024 on the same date. Save. Okay, now what happens is, I said every day the system gets updated once. Then based on that, we would have seen this date gets applying. So for now, since I've added a small change, what I'm going to do, I'm still going to do a manual sync. Now what is going to happen is, since my date is predated, that is for 2024, it's tried to pull in even 2024 data also to the DB and store it. So the next time when we add something, it'll be easy for us. It's like one time activity, but it'll serve all the purpose. So once this loads, uh, okay, it's still syncing. Once this loads, we'll get back. Meanwhile, let me add one more fund also. Let's do the same small cap fund, 7 8. I'm not going for this because you can still that I'll keep it for the large cap. For this, I will just enter the code since I already showed how we can do it. It's the same process. Okay, now I'm putting the demo one. How many units? Maybe let's say I bought some 50 units again for 10,000. Okay, so current now is 185 and my target now I'll just keep it as 200 at a watch list. Okay, now you see this. We earlier didn't have any banner here. It's saying we are a negative and we can accumulate it. Okay, so let this also just backdate to the same thing just to I'm gonna sync now again because I just updated the date. So usually what I would do is just do everything, all the tracking dates, and just click on once again sync now for today. Else by tomorrow it'll be, since I'm doing the demo on today, I'm just doing a manual sync. Okay, so it's still syncing. Meanwhile, meanwhile, when you see in the overall, we see this how much we invested. We had invested 10K per fund, right? So that's 20K. The current holding is 22K and the target is 25K. The target is based on what we are expecting. Okay, so let's go for this. Yeah, and if you see this, this is clean banner. There's nothing, no analysis on whether to dip buy or accumulate. But this is what's focus. It's asking us to accumulate the since we are negative with 7.36 percentage. Okay, and from this date, you see this. I think it's based on the recent sync issue. I think it is not sync, but if you see here in 2024 we have bought, we can see the dates, right? It is the 52-week high was on 17th July and 50 low was on March 2025. That is 231. And since the date I'm tracking, it is again the same thing since it's 1 year back. Let's say if I was tracking this from 2020, something like that, we would have seen what is the high and low of since tracking. Now I wanted to show this banner. Okay, so that what I'm gonna do is, and you see this target what we achieved is 237, right? So let's say I had the same. Okay, 287 was my target, and like click on save. Okay, now you see this. It gets green color. The reason why I've given this is somewhere in the past your target is achieved. See, I have added on today, right? So today is what watch listed, but if at all I use this tool way before, I could have actually exited out of the market. So that is why this becomes green, saying that hey, look, this target was achieved somewhere in the past, right? So that is what this indication is. Let me get back to 300 just to show you something. You see this current nav is 273 and you have 26 points. That is the other 26 nav makes it to target 300. So this is what it shows in amber, like how much nav is there for you. Okay, now accumulating it 7 percentage. Let's say if you want to accumulate on this, you can accumulate it. Maybe what I will do is instead of 50 units, let's make it 25 units. Okay, now see this, the banner is changed. It says what? Hey, look, there's a possibility of dip by right since you're in loss. What you can reinvest on this. Based on this, you can actually decide whether you want to reinvest or not. Take the call, do it in your portfolio. and just update it here for how much units you have bought and what's an average unit, so that the tool still keeps track of it. Okay, now here let's say that you have sold. You can mark this as sold. So before making that, let me do some other changes also just to show the difference. I'll make it as 300. Okay, you see, as and when the target is more, it says how many points were away, right? So we have at 185. So let's say I am at 186 now. The target is at 186. Okay, now see, when it is 86, you see the green is coming because earlier I said, because the moment in the past if you had a value crossing a target, the title becomes green, so that it's an indication. And if you go to all funds, you see, and all funds also, what you see, it's basically because the banner of dip by an early sell. Okay, okay, now what is this early sell and dip buy? Early sell is something like your target is achieved. Okay, you would have kept a target, it is achieved. So it's not exactly, so it's close to 186, but it is not 186, so you can decide whether to early sell or not. Now let's edit this and make it as 185. Now see, it's target hit. Now we'll say it's a target sell. So usually the dip buy won't come here because since I made some changes in this, let's make it to 100 as of now. Okay, so that the value looks good. Okay, now it says that hey, your average was 100, your current is 185, and the target is 185. It has hit. Now you decide to sell or not. I mean, this is just to give you an information on your mutual fund whether you decide it or not, right? See, whenever you open a portfolio, you'll have a lot of returns. It depends on how many mutual funds you're invested in, and you may have some thought like, hey, so and so is a percentage what I want whenever to check out. Maybe you'll remember for a few days. Maybe after that, if you're not, then you'll forget it. So because of that is what this app is, so that whenever you want it, you can just open this app, say, hey, I see a target hit, decide, just go sell it. Okay, now let's do a sell in this. Yeah, how much did I sell it for? Let's say I would have sold it for, I mean, the time you click on a sell in your portfolio, it takes t plus one market time, right? So there you'll get a report like how much you have sold it. So that now we can add it, assuming it is, I sold it on the next day 186, I just say confirm sold. Okay, now you see this is grayed out. It means that it is not active funds, and this will have your funds with all the option, either you can delete or not. You still go for dashboard. As I said, it is still tracking only SIP and watch list, nothing on this. Okay, and you still see the fund with 20k invested. The current is 30k. The target is 33, is because we still have the record of this. So it is like a realized profit and loss also it shows. Let's say now if I delete this, you can keep it for your future reference if you wanted, so that you'll know like how much you bought it and how much you sold it for, right? Okay, so yeah, so how much I've sold it, it is not tracked, but it is just shows for the goal what it is. So maybe that I will add as an enhancement feature of for how much you have. Oh, sorry, yeah, it is there. I sold it. I have did this long, but yeah, you sold it at 186. So this gives you a glimpse. Okay, maybe we can add one more subdivision as the actual sold value, so that you'll know the real profit. Let's say I'm deleting this record. Yeah, delete. You say the invested is 10k, your target is 15, and your current is 13. Okay, now I wanted to emphasize mainly on this. It is some based on couple of algorithmic change. You get an AI analysis. So what is green? Green represents it's good. You see it's green, and if it is amber, we see it's a risky bought at top or something. Maybe we can try with a large cap one. Let's say large cap fund. I don't know. Let's go with Aditya Birla just for maybe a growth. Mm, 1,200. I bought units around what 500 units, and I've invested what 25. Okay, let's assume. Let's see. I even I'm also not sure like what the real value is. Okay. Now you see everything in green, which represent that we bought it at a good price. And highlighting on this information, it gives you information like okay, the value buy was bought at deeply below peak and got the correct bottom. Okay, I'm not focusing much on this on how this algorithm is working, but just wanted to show that the right notification you see. Let's say now I had bought 500 units. Let's make it to 50 just to see it's still in green. Let's say I bought it at 5. Okay, yeah. Now you see this a dip of something, and let's say I bought it at the wrong entry point. Now you see it says that formula you bought it at a very top, maybe at the high time or something, whatever I bought it, but now it is not. The average cost is 5,000 and current is this, so it says that okay, my entry was at the peak time. Yeah, so this is how you can track a mutual fund, and let's say now you want to delete this or edit this tab, you can still click on edit and let's renaming it to yeah, sorry, I clicked on renamed. Yeah, I got renamed. Now what's gonna happen is let's say I want to delete it. The entire thing what you have been put in the watch list gets deleted. So that if you see investors 35k, the 25k gets deleted when I delete this. You see this, it's deleted. So this is something you can make use of this. Feel free to explore app. Not sure like everyone has the idea of tracking or idea of exiting their mutual fund. Mine I had, so I wanted to create this application so that I'm less focused on Excel going forward and more focused on this, so that it gives me a little information what I wanted. Always feel free to run it in your Dockerization or local run for your purpose. Yeah, it is not cloud based, but main idea of this project is to have it application running for yourself for now. As I said, once I get some sponsors who can help me in hosting into cloud and take up the cost, yes, maybe I'll think about exploring there. But for now, this is the app. I'll share the repo link in the description or pin it as part of a comment. Okay, so I hope this has given you a thought of how to make a use of this app. Maybe I've not explained full technical gimmicks on this, but I'm not doing that because just wanted to have it in layman's term. Track your investment, decide your target, and let the app say like you want to do it or not, right? And one more thing is that yeah, since it's a daily nav, maybe you'll have a question like okay, let's say I'm opening this application after 5 days, right? And it is gonna download only on the fifth day's date. So what happens about the gap? Yes, the gap will have a gap, but I have written a code such that the gap will be filled with again the real data. For that purpose is what I've used MFAPI. So MFAPI.in is a historical nav API. So only when my tool sees that there's a gap from the last sync to the current sync date, that is when I pull this data. Else I don't pull this data. Okay, so you so that you don't lose your history of your navs also. But yeah, feel free to explore this application. If you feel some new enhancements can come in, feel free to fork the repo, then raise your
I think folk for now I am disabled it, but yeah, maybe I'll enable it down the time. But yeah, you can, you know how to connect with me. You'll have all this. Feel free to connect. Then let me know your feedback. Okay. So once again, thank you for your time. So yeah, signing off with the NAVIO app. Thank you. Bye bye.